Today we're going to talk about picture frames and formatting. So let's just hop right into it. So picture formatting, there's a lot to it. And we're going to start off with our first victim or first image. You've only got one other set of images and they're all animals. First thing we got to do is, all of this is basically going to be in edit mode. So we're going to drop out of edit mode. Where you want to start from the home menu, you want to click on the image that you want to modify, and then you'll see a picture format option show up. So if you deselect the image, you notice it's not there, select on it, and then it's there. So what we're going to do is go through all of the ribbon options under picture format. So click on your image, picture format comes up as an option on the menu, and go ahead and select it. Remove background, I believe we've covered on a different video. You basically, when you select it, you can pick your areas you want to keep or discard. So if we want to keep the dog's ears and the face, you can circle it and it'll show up, where you can go through this a few times and things will start to reappear. Then you can crop out the owner's arms if you want to, and then you can save the changes. And then you can mark other areas that you want to not discard, but to get rid of. So we're going to go back. And then corrections. You can put on different, as you can see, you can sharpen or brighten an item. I'm going to click on the option and you watch the image. It didn't change much. Look, it got a little sharper there. This will make it darker. This will make it lighter. So you can kind of preview your selection before you actually make it. Under color, it does just that. It changes the color of your image. So if you want to go black and white or sepia, or super hard black and white, it shows the percentage. 75% black and white, where here it's grayscale. It's only 25% visible. You can play with all of those, play with the tone. Notice how the dog's skin is changing colors. And let's see what's on more variations. Though you can make the colors even more intense. So that's the color. Under artistic, you can go from clear to opaque. There's some feature there. I don't know what that is. There's like a negative, a shell, a photo negative. Here's one with a bunch of cross hatches. So just a lot of different things you can do to make your plain Jane picture not so plain Jane. And then transparency is just that. How washed out is it? These two or three would be good for like watermarks or backgrounds for a particular slide. Compressed pictures, I believe we've gone over that. This is real important if you do a lot of editing to pictures, cropping them, enlarging them. The stuff you do not need, you can actually throw away by using this command here. You can apply it to just this picture or to all pictures in the slideshow, and you can select the resolution that you want depending on what you're going to be doing with the presentation. And I use this one a lot for emailing a presentation or emailing parts of it because, as you know, the files can get pretty big. So remember, compressed pictures. That's going to help keep your file size to its utmost minimum. Change picture is just what it says. You can just swap it out. Reset probably removes all these options that we've added here. We're now going to move on to the second half of the demonstration or the ribbon, which is the picture styles and all these effects, which is, I feel, the main part of the video. So here we go. Once you click on the image, you'll see these picture styles come up. They could be called borders or frames. And notice how as you hover over the first one, how the border changes. Notice there is no border now. Now there's a white one, kind of like the old Polaroid pictures. There's a bigger or wider. And you can hover your, or not hover, but keep your pointer on a particular style and you can see what the title of it is or the name of it is. There's rounded edges, soft edges, heavy black. So those are the first, looks like 7, but if you hit this double drop down or the drop down with the underline on top at the very top, you get more. You get another 3 rows. So you get a total of about 28 different choices. And you can look at the frame, heavy black. You can see how the frame changes. I really like those ellipses or ovals. I personally like the ones with the soft edges. Here we get into a little bit of beveled or 3D stuff, which we're going to get into. There's one with 2 corners cropped off, kind of a 3D lay down, and you get the idea. So let's pick one. Let's pick the old Polaroid camera pictures. Now we go to picture border, and you can change the color. Oh, notice how I pick green, and the border is now green. I pick blue, it's now blue. So you can, and here you can change the weight. You can go to a 6. Let's see, that didn't actually change. Maybe it's already at a 6. And here you go to a 1. Let's pick a different color that we can actually see. This is, okay, now, okay, so there's the color. Now if we change the weight, it's not really changing it like I think it should. Maybe you can only use the heavy border. The heavy border definitely works. Red, yellow, it's the other colors. So the picture effects. Now in this area of looks like about 7 or 8, you have a bunch of subsets. Now as I hover over the option, watch the image. Okay, on these presets, the edges change. They have a shadow. Here it turns a little bit. It's like, kind of like a 3D option. There it's laid down. If you're maybe stacking multiple pictures, you could have it that way, or even that direction, or even that direction. That would be good with transitions, you know, having them flipped. Shadow. Let's go to a different border. Maybe we can see the shadow a little better. If you watch, you can see it getting thicker as I move to the right. Okay, that's under outer. Now let's see what inner does. Maybe that's inside the picture. I really can't tell. Then here's another. Oh, the perspective adds, let's go ahead and select it. It adds a shadow for the image, not on the image. Basically like if a light was over here in this area. So that was shadow on perspective. Go to reflection. Let's see what we get. Oh, you get a reflection as if you're in a mirror down here at the bottom. Let's reduce this a little bit. Move it up. Now you can see it. So you got a reflection. That's the reflection here and a shadow here. So we're combining things. Okay, there's different variations. You can see if you watch the image, you can see. And then what do we have here? Oh, even more options. You can adjust the percentages and the distances. We'll close that. Let's reduce our master image just a little bit more. Let's make this go away. All right, click on the image so your picture format comes back. Then picture layout. We're going to save this for the next slide. This is if you have multiple, if you want to add some text of some sort, like this is like an org chart here. And we'll come back to that in just a moment. Alternate text, it just makes a description of the image. You can, okay, their default is a white dog with a collar, and I named him Buster. I think this is the dog of one of my sister-in-laws. I forgot the dog's name. And then from previous videos, bring forward, send backward is basically grouping order, setting up your layers that we've talked about in past times. Selection pane, basically you can change the name of the item so that it makes more sense, especially if you've got a bunch of items that you're trying to manage. The eye will turn on, turn off, and the lock will lock the image in the spot that it's located so that it cannot be modified or relocated. These are just a quick buttons to align the image somewhere in the slide. You can see those options there: align left, right, center, etc. This was if you got multiple objects, you can group the objects. And this is if you want to rotate the image, you could do that. And then cropping, you know how to crop. And then this is if you want to manually put the picture in a particular location. Okay, I figured out my technical difficulty. So if we move to our next slide, this would be more applicable, I believe, for, let's click on an image so we get our menu back for this picture layout where we have all these different options here. It looks like about 25 or so different options. If we wanted, okay, that's just going to add some text. Oh, we get, you see, this is part of SmartArt. So I was thinking that this would put the images all together in a row like this, but maybe not. So as you can see, it is changing the images, but it's also adding a text box so you could describe what the item is next to it. Let's try selecting multiple images and see what it does. Okay, it deselected that as an option. So you have to play around with this. This is something that we can maybe have another video on. And as you can see, it's really gone to a different subset now. Or you can change the shape of the image. Notice the hexagons. Here it's circles. There it's squares. Oh, here's your org chart here. So there should be a way to select multiple images and make the org chart. Let's see if we can deselects. So we'll play with that. And get back with you because I did not play with those shapes in the SmartArt. All right, let's see if we can escape out of that and wrap this up. So the SmartArt is going to take some more work. We may come up with another video for it. But you've got the basics from modifying the image, removing the background, keeping certain areas, corrections, adding color, adding artistic effects, transparency, compressing the picture, changing the picture, resetting it, the various, let's go back to this one, the various frames that we talked about, changing the border color. Say if we had this one as we did earlier, you could change the color. You could change the effect with all of these options here. Somebody didn't go over bevel, soft edges, glow. Glow works real well. I found out from some of the other YouTube people, when you do the cutout of your image, put a soft glow around it, makes it stand out, makes it pop out some. So you may want to think about using glow. And as you can see, you got different colors. You got blue, pink, gray, yellow, and some others. Reflection, we've already gone over. That's with shadow with the presets. And then picture layout using SmartArt. You need to spend a little more time with that one. Alter the text, you can name it. Selection pane, you can name the image in the animation window. Send backward, send forward is a part of grouping. And then cropping, you already know how to do from early on. And this will lock a picture in at a particular spot on the slide. So that's picture framing. It gives you a lot of options to help you make your image different from everyone else's, even different from within the same slideshow. You've got colors, you've got shapes, you've got thicknesses, you can knock off corners, add corners, you can add reflections, bevels, shadows, a whole bunch of different options to make Jane Doe picture into something that's going to really catch the viewer's attention. Let me know if you have any questions on this. Enjoy this. You will be using this one. This is one that you should use quite often. And let me know if you have any questions or any comments. Thank you very much. Have a good one and happy PowerPointing.